Hi there and welcome to Let's Bake and Cook Stuff. Today I'm making pineapple upside down cake with fresh pineapple. Oh, by the way, it's not just pineapple upside down cake, it's salted caramel pineapple upside down cake. I know. Okay, I've got my heating element here. I'm going to be heating this, I'm going to melt this butter on medium. Melting the butter on medium, and this is going to be our, it's the bottom, but then you flip it up, so it's the upside down part, right? If you don't know what pineapple upside down cake is, you put the pineapple in this case the caramel, on the bottom, then you put the cake over that, and you flip it over, so then it's pineapple upside down cake. Okay, here we have the butter melting with the brown sugar to make our caramel sauce. We're making a salted caramel sauce to go on the bottom that will eventually be the top of the cake. This sauce also has bourbon in it. You don't have to use the bourbon, but you do want something at the end to sort of help get rid of the grittiness of the brown sugar. So a little bit of lemon juice might work, or well, maybe a little bit of lemon juice. I don't want to give you too many options that I haven't tried. So, but I'm using the bourbon. It's going to be mostly cooked out, so it's not going to have like a bourbony flavor. Well, the bourbony flavor is going to be there, but the alcohol part's going to be mostly cooked out. Again, this is on a medium heat. We're melting the brown sugar, and we're melting obviously the butter, and then we really just want to cook this. After it starts bubbling, it's going to be about 3 more minutes after that, and we're going to have like a caramel sauce. The cake part, as I was trying to explain with the pineapple upside down cake, the cake part is actually more dense than a regular cake too. It's not a fluffy light cake, it's more of a dense cake. And you don't have to stir this constantly, but you want to stir it, occasionally. If you wanted to use regular sugar, say you don't have brown sugar and you wanted to make this, you could do that. Because you're turning it into a caramel. Do you say caramel or caramel? I say caramel, but sometimes I catch myself saying caramel. It's spelled caramel, so. But anyway, you're making a caramel sauce out of it, so the white sugar would work, regular granulated sugar would work, but it wouldn't be as intense a flavor as the brown sugar. Okay, just FYI. Okay, we're good. Now we're going to add in 1 teaspoon of salt. Remember I said it's a salted caramel topping or bottoming. Stir that in. And now, this is why you want to make sure you turn the heat off, okay? We're putting in 3 tablespoons of whiskey. It's going to help melt that brown sugar a little bit. Going to add a little bit of flavor. Oh, going to add a little bit of bourbon flavor. Well, it's actually whiskey. I guess there's bourbon whiskey and there's not bourbon whiskey. I don't know. And that really helped to melt that brown sugar, just as I was hoping it would do. Now you've got a delicious caramel sauce. Now look at it. It cooked for about 3 minutes over medium heat. And then I turned off the heat and I added 3 tablespoons of whiskey and a teaspoon of salt. So this is a salted caramel pineapple upside down cake, just so you know. Okay, now this is a 9-inch pan. It's 2 to 2.5, 3 inches deep. You want a kind of a a higher sided pan for this. Okay. Oh my goodness, this is going to be so good. And this is my favorite part of the cake. Well, frosting is my favorite part of regular cake, so of course this gooey stuff is going to be my favorite part of the pineapple upside down cake. Okay, and then this is really just however you decide. If you want to put these pineapple. If you want to use canned pineapple, please feel free. I bought these at the store and they had them fresh. So I said, I'm gonna go ahead and get some of those and do something with it, but you can totally use canned pineapple. And to tell you the truth, most of the ones I've made with canned pineapple. So just make sure you drain them, and then you can leave them whole if you want. You can even use chunks of pineapple instead of the whole rings if you want. Don't touch that caramel sauce though, it's super hot. It's probably over 200 degrees. Okay, then I want some in here. I'm gonna put some smaller pieces in here. Okay. I'd say I sliced these about 1/4 of an inch thick, maybe 1/3 of an inch. I didn't measure them, so I think more important than how thick they are is making sure that they are all the same thickness or close to the same thickness. Okay, I think I've squeezed in all the pineapple I can do. Here's what the bottom of the cake looks like now. It will turn into the top of the cake once we flip it over. It's just the brown sugar mixture with the butter and the bourbon and the salt, and then a bunch of little pineapple chunks. Set this aside, and now we're going to make the cake part of the pineapple upside down cake. Okay, now for the cake part, we're going to add 1½ cups of all-purpose flour. I'm just whisking that, airing it out a little bit. Okay. 2 teaspoons of baking powder and ½ teaspoon of salt. And that is the extent of our dry ingredients. Now we're going to put that's 1 cup of granulated sugar and ½ cup or 1 stick of melted butter. It doesn't have to be melted, it's just easier to mix it. So if you don't just want to soften it, that would be fine too. And we're going to mix that up first, then we're going to add our vanilla. Tablespoon of vanilla extract. Okay, now we're going to do our eggs. 2 large room temperature eggs. 1 at a time. And the reason you do it 1 at a time is just to get it mixed in there properly. I sometimes will beat the eggs up first and just sort of pour them in there slowly. I think either method, is fine. Put in 1. Once that egg disappears, you add the next one. We'll scrape down the sides. There seems to be a little bit of buildup on the side there. Okay, I'm going to mix that in just to make sure that that's all incorporated. Then we're going to do our wet dry added. Now, this is different than I normally do it. Normally when I do a cake, I'm going to do, I forgot to turn the oven on. You do 1/3 of the flour mixture, and then you do 1/2 of the liquid, then another 1/3, and then 1/2, and then the last 1/3. But I'm just going to do 1/2 and 1/2, and we're not going to end with flour, so don't be mad. Okay, just about 1/2 of this flour mixture. Okay. And about 1/2 of the milk. This is almond milk, but use whatever milk you use. I want about 1/2 of it. It's about 3/4 of a cup, so use 3/4 of a cup. Now I have the rest of the flour. Get that mixed in. And the rest of the milk. Now I'm going to scrape down the sides one more time. everything in there. I paid for all of it, I'm using it. And we're just getting that incorporated. Putting the rest of that in there, and then we are good to go. Again, this isn't a big fluffy airy cake like a regular cake. It's going to be a lot more dense. Okay, so we are going to pour the batter slowly and carefully so you don't mix up where your pineapples are. Just pour it slowly and evenly. Okay. Give it a little tap. We're ready to bake it. Stick it in a 350-degree preheated oven for 50 minutes. I'll see you back here in 50 minutes. We're gonna have delicious pineapple upside down cake made with fresh pineapple and, you know, some whiskey. I get so happy. Pineapple upside down cake. Touch it, springs back. It's cooked. You gotta let it cool for, I'm gonna say half an hour. Oh, by the way, that was 40 minutes, not 50 minutes. We're gonna let this cool for half an hour, and then we're gonna dump it over and see beautiful pineapple and caramely stuff. It'll go away. Okay, the cake's been cooling for, I don't know, maybe about 20 minutes. I think I said a half an hour, but it's been about 20 minutes. It's still pretty warm. I'm gonna loosen it with a spatula here, or putty knife, or some kind of kitchen gadget. And we're gonna set our cake plate upside down. I'm gonna do this quickly because all the syrup will come out all over you. Actually, a lot of it's soaked back into the cake, so you'll probably be okay, but you do want to do that. Make sure that your cake plate has a little bit of a lip. Okay, and that'll keep your, in case there is a lot of sauce that comes off of there, it won't spill out all over your table. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh, how good does that look? So good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy. Still do need to let it cool off a little bit. If you cut this, it'll fall all apart. It's still kind of tender, and so don't cut it yet. Give it about another 10 minutes. And slice it up. Be good with some ice cream, some whipped cream. Be good just like this. Looks like I could have put more pineapple on there though. All right, thanks for joining me. If you'd like to see more videos about how to bake and cook stuff, please like and subscribe, hit that bell, and then you'll get notified whenever I have a new video out, which is usually every week, usually on Mondays, sometimes on Saturdays, sometimes more often, but at least once a week. Okay, thanks, take care. All right, let's cut it just for fun. I do like to see the inside of it. Oh my gosh. I'm just gonna cook a tiny piece. I cut into that pineapple. Are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? Really? Just one bite. We haven't had dinner yet, so. All I'm gonna say is make this. Make this and be delighted. Bye.